The wind howled across the open prairie, a low, mournful sound that seemed to carry every sorrow ever whispered under the sun. Dust and snow swirled together in cruel spirals, biting at exposed skin, cutting like glass. In that pale dusk, where the sky burned gold to the horizon and deepened to violet above, a woman stumbled, her boots sinking into the frozen earth. She clutched her shawl tight around her shoulders, but it did little to keep the chill from seeping into her bones. Mabel Whitaker's breath came in shallow gasps, misting the air. Her dark braid had come undone, strands of black hair whipping across her face, sticking to the tears that froze on her cheeks almost as soon as they fell. Each step felt heavier than the last, and she feared that if she stopped, even for a moment, the cold would claim her. Behind her was Dry Creek, a town she once called home. But there was no safety there anymore, not after what the sheriff had said, not after the way the townsfolk looked at her as if she carried a disease. She had tried to plead her case, but their ears were closed. They believed the rumors, that she had aided outlaws, that she had smuggled them supplies under the cover of darkness. It wasn't true. She would have told them she was only helping her younger brother escape conscription, but no one cared to listen. In their eyes, she was guilty. Ahead, a dark shape emerged from the blowing snow. A cabin, old, weathered, leaning slightly as if bowing beneath the weight of years and storms. Smoke curled weakly from the chimney. A single lantern flickered in the window. Mabel hesitated. Her instinct screamed at her to keep walking, to pass unseen into the wilderness, to trust no one. But her body betrayed her. Her legs folded beneath her, and she crumpled into the snow with a muffled sob. She didn't hear the door creak open, didn't notice the boots crunching over the snow until they stopped a few feet away. "Get up," a voice said, deep, rough, carrying the edge of a man who didn't waste words. Mabel's head jerked up. A man loomed above her, framed by the dim light spilling from the cabin. He was tall, broad-shouldered beneath a worn coat, his hair dark with streaks of gray at the temples. His face was angular, handsome in a weathered way, and his pale eyes studied her like a predator sizing up prey. One hand rested near the revolver on his hip. "Please," Mabel whispered, her voice cracking. "Don't shoot." He didn't speak. "If you let me live," she went on, her words tumbling out, desperate and wild, "I'll bear you children, strong ones. I'll marry you. I'll do anything you ask." His expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Curiosity, maybe, or just surprise. "You got a name?" "Mabel Whitaker." "You're from Dry Creek." It wasn't a question. She nodded, clutching her shawl tighter. They said I helped outlaws. But I didn't. I swear it." He studied her a moment longer, then sighed. "On your feet. You're going to freeze out here." Mabel tried to stand, but swayed dangerously. With a muttered curse, he stepped forward and grabbed her arm, steadying her. His grip was firm but not cruel. He half carried, half dragged her into the cabin, kicking the door shut behind them. The warmth hit her like a blow. She sagged against the wall, breathing hard, her limbs tingling painfully as feeling returned. "Sit," he ordered. She sank onto a wooden chair near the fire, her fingers trembling as she reached toward the flames. He moved about the room in silence, hanging his coat on a peg, pouring water into a kettle. "You don't look like no outlaw," he said finally. "I'm not," she whispered. He shot her a look. "And yet here you are, begging for your life in a stranger's yard. What did you do?" "Nothing. Sheriff Kincaid. He lied about me. He want my family's land. My mother's sick. I couldn't fight him." His jaw tightened. "Sounds about right." "You believe me?" "I believe folks will say anything if it suits them. Doesn't mean you're innocent." Mabel flinched, but there was no heat in his tone, just weariness, like a man who'd seen too much of the world to trust it. He set a chipped mug in front of her. "Drink." The tea was weak, bitter, but it warmed her from the inside. "What's your name?" she asked hesitantly. "Cullen Reese." Her eyes widened. She'd heard that name whispered in town. Reese, the gunman who had once ridden with a notorious gang before vanishing into the hills. Some said he was dead. Others said he lived out here, alone, too dangerous to hunt. "You're him," she murmured. His lips curved in a humorless smile. Guilty. Why, help me then. Didn't say I was helping. Just didn't fancy stepping over a frozen corpse on my way to the woodpile. Mabel looked down at her hands, twisting them in her lap. You could still throw me out. I could. He watched her for a long moment, then added, but I won't. Not tonight. A long silence settled between them, broken only by the hiss of the fire. Outside, the wind howled louder, rattling the window panes. You meant what you said out there? Cullen asked suddenly. Her head jerked up. What? That you'd marry me, bear me children. She swallowed hard. I didn't mean it as a lie. I thought maybe it'd make you spare me. And if I said yes? Mabel met his gaze, her voice low but steady. Then I'd keep my word. For the first time, something softened in his expression. You're a strange one, Mabel Whitaker. You're not what I expected either. His laugh was rough, short. Don't go getting ideas about me. I'm no good man. I've known plenty of men who call themselves good, she said quietly. Didn't mean they were. Cullen stared at her, something unreadable in his pale eyes. Then he stood, pulling his coat back on. Get some sleep? Tomorrow, we'll see if you're still so eager to keep your word. He opened the door and stepped outside into the storm. Mabel sat there, staring at the fire, her heart pounding. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but for the first time since leaving Dry Creek, she felt a fragile thread of hope. She whispered to herself, Don't let me die out here. The wind screamed, but in the cabin, the fire burned steady and warm. And for one night, she was safe.